Now that we're finally in the last 2 months of the year, I figured I would put together a list of Nintendo Switch games that I'm excited for in 2023. I made sure that when I made this list, I put together some first-party titles, third-party titles, games we hardly know anything about, and games that we're just dying to have released. But before we go ahead and get started, it would mean a lot to me if you would subscribe to my channel down below for more tech and video game related content. And now, let's get to the list. I'm going to get the most obvious one out of the way, and that's The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. While we don't know a whole lot about the storyline of the game just yet, my excitement comes from pure speculation that I have. It'd be uncommon for a Switch owner not to express the same sentiment, however, it makes me feel both excited and also nervous. I'm excited because it's a new Zelda game and I'm a diehard Zelda fan, but I'm a bit nervous it's going to feel like a Breath of the Wild DLC. It takes place in the same world with the same reincarnation of Zelda and Link, but because of that, there's only so much that they can change. I think with the Sky Island mechanic they added where pieces of the land erupt into the sky, it should give us a lot more changes to the landscape, but also there's only so much they can change in that aspect. I'm also very excited to figure out who this mystery person is from the latest trailer. I'm placing bets that it's the goddess Hylia, however, it could very well be like a Zonai deity that we just don't know about yet. Since Tears of the Kingdom is being placed at the end of the timeline, I also wouldn't be surprised if it was Hylia since they just released Skyward Sword, and Skyward Sword is the first Zelda reincarnation. This game is slotted to release May 12th of 2023. Next up, we have the Plucky Squire. Maybe I'm a little biased towards this game because it's a little bit reminiscent of the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening Switch port, but to me it looks sick. This game is a combination of both 3D and 2D gaming. The story is that you're a plucky squire named Jot that travels through a storybook-land defeating enemies and solving puzzles. Then the villain of the story, Humgrump, realizes he's the villain and kicks Jot out of the storybook to rewrite the pages forever. Jot is now in the 3D world, and from there he can fight 3D enemies and can also swap to 2D fighting on flat surfaces. I loved The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds, and so the swapping between 3D and 2D really reminds me of that. But it also kind of reminds me of Toy Story because I think the scope of the game takes place in a kid's bedroom, which is kind of Toy Story Toys to Life kind of theme. This game currently doesn't have a release date, so keep your eyes peeled for when that gets released. Next on my list is Pikmin IV. We hardly know anything about this game yet, but it was announced to be releasing in 2023. We've seen some short clips of the environment, so that kind of tells me they aren't too deep into development since they actually didn't show any gameplay, but it looks beautiful. I'm not a major Pikmin fan because the games growing up gave me a lot of anxiety when I would play it on the GameCube. There was just something about when a Pikmin would die and their soul would leave their tiny little body. Yeah, it scared me when I was 5, but I think it's a fun strategy game now. Next we have Hogwarts Legacy, which is releasing on February 10th. However, it's coming to the Switch sometime later in 2023. In the game, you play as a student that has the power to manipulate powerful and ancient magic. In doing so, you need to discover who is behind the use of the forgotten magic that is trying to destroy all of the magic wielders. You are put into a house and attend classes that teach you various skills that will help you along the way. In between classes, you can explore both the grounds and the secret areas of the school itself. The game takes place in the late 1800s, so it's all pre-Voldemort era, so don't expect to see any familiar faces except for the ghosts. But the game is very much a choose-your-own-path type adventure, which I'm positive I'm going to be racking up hours playing this game. The next one currently doesn't have a release date, but it's slated to release in 2023. Cocoon is a mind-bending puzzle platform where you use orbs to solve puzzles at hand. With each orb, you can unlock new alien worlds that have their own orbs, and also puzzles to solve within them. The core mechanic is jumping between worlds where you can combine and manipulate and rearrange them to solve in-depth puzzles. Within the worlds are guardians you have to defeat, but may require you to use certain skills in order to win. But by unlocking an orb's ability, you can uncover hidden paths, objects, attacks, and more that you will need to solve the puzzles. Coming up sometime in the first half of 2023 is Hollow Knight Silksong. In this game, you play in an all-new kingdom with brand new challenges. You play as Hornet, the princess protector of Hollow Nest. Essentially, you are brought to this new world against your will, and you must climb to the peak to escape. In the process of doing so, you fight against 150 new enemies as you adventure through mossy grottos, coral forests, and shining citadels to unravel a deadly thread that threatens this strange new land. This next game is an entirely new franchise that I'm starting to have interest in, and the game is called Siberia the World Before. This game is the fourth game in the series, and you play starting out as Donna Rose, a pianist in 1937. The world is reminiscent of the World War II era with a modern twist of automatons that are driving trolleys or playing music. In the game, a group called the Brown Shadow is symbolistic of the Nazi Party during World War II. You can also play as Kate Walker, who is a prisoner in 2003. She comes across a drawing of Donna Rose who looks very similar to Kate, and you play to solve how the two are intertwined. Kate's main mission is to discover who painted the artwork and to learn more about Donna. This game looks like a fun mystery game, and the storyline alone seems very captivating. The game is currently to be released on March 22nd, 2023. And coming out February 24th, 2023 is Kirbys Return to Dreamland Deluxe. The story of the game is that a spaceship crashes on planet Popstar. You need to help Magalore return to their planet, and you set out on your adventure to collect 5 pieces of his spaceship. One complaint that this game had on the Wii was when your friends would play with you, they couldn't also play as Kirby, meaning they couldn't copy their enemies' abilities. But in this remake, everyone can play as Kirby. In this game, you can play solo or with up to 3 friends. In addition to the campaign, you can play both new and returning minigames. And the next one on my list is Blanc. In this game, you follow the story as a wolf cub and a fawn that gets separated from their families during a bad snowstorm. In the game, you utilize the pair to solve puzzles of various degrees. The wolf cub's abilities are handy for fitting in smaller spaces, whereas the fawn can jump significantly higher than the cub. The point of the game is to work together playing co-op, or you can play online with someone far away. This game reminds me a lot of Fox and the Hound and is slated to release February 2023. And finally, the last game that I'm looking forward to in 2023 is Octopath Traveler 2. It's being released February 24th, 2023, and the story takes place in Celestia, a land that is divided by the sea. You can play as 8 travelers from various regions that have their own adventuring motives. This game has stayed true to the series' mechanics by allowing you to develop your travelers' jobs and skills, the iconic break and boost system for battling, as well as some new ones. This game does HD 2D graphics with a combination of 3D computer graphics to bring a unique art style. So as you can see, 2023 is going to be a pretty solid year for the Nintendo Switch. And almost all of those games are coming out in the first half of 2023, so I can only imagine what's to come in the second half. Did you hear any new games that you're interested in? Did we have the same list, or do you think that I missed one? Let me know down in the comments. And also, if you found this video helpful, it would mean a lot to me if you would go ahead and drop a like. It's literally free. It doesn't cost you anything. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more tech and video game related content. I'm Maddie, the Hippie Hacker, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.